Hello. How y'all doing out there? I hope you're doing really good. Never forget, you're a soul, first and foremost. You're a soul. You're a light being. Absolutely. But this video here is on the Executive Order 13848. Yeah, this was the brainstorm, the child of 45. And this was signed, this executive order was signed off. Let's see, it was September 12th, 2018. And I'm going to read to you what he wrote. See, he's got, yeah. And he did sign off on this. There's his signature. That signature is a whole nother episode. One of the things that I've studied is handwriting. Yeah. Okay, so this article here, the source for it is, I guess I could, well, okay, I'm going to do a little banner here. Okay, so, and I will write here that type in the source of this so you can check it out. sb.edu/ I got that right? Presidency. Yeah. Presidency.ucsb.edu. So, an education department of some sort wrote this one. And then the presidential documents in the Federal Registry was recorded Friday, September 14th in 2018. It says Executive Order 13848 of September 12th, 2018. It's when they did all the handiwork on it. Imposing certain sanctions in the event of foreign interference in a United States election. Wow, that was wonderful. Okay. So should I've got two different versions written or typed out, or not typed out. I printed them out. So let's do the full length one, or I'm gonna do this one because it's got less of the legal eagle in there, but it hits all the points. Okay. It says, by the authority vested in me as president by the Constitution and the laws of the United States of America, including the International Emergency Economic Powers Act, the National Emergencies Act, of the Immigration and Nationality Act of 1952, of the United States Code. It gives all the codes there too. Okay, I'm gonna right there. That's the source of this that I'm reading, and it says, I, in his full name, 45, President of the United States of America, find that the ability of persons located in whole or in substantial part outside the United States to interfere in or undermine public confidence in United States elections, including through the unauthorized accessing of election and campaign infrastructure or covert distribution of propaganda and disinformation, constitutes an unusual and extraordinary threat to the national security and foreign policy of the United States. Although there has been no evidence of a foreign power altering the outcome or vote tabulation in any United States election, foreign powers have historically sought to exploit America's free and open political system. In recent years, the proliferation of digital devices and internet-based communications has created significant vulnerabilities and magnified the scope and intensity of the threat of foreign interference, as illustrated in the 2017 Intelligence Community Assessment. I hereby declare a national emergency to deal with this threat. Accordingly, I hereby order Section 1A, not later than 45 days after the conclusion of a United States election, the Director of National Intelligence, in consultation with the heads of any other appropriate executive departments and agencies, shall, that's a must, and that's within 45 days. My little input here. So today is the 16th of December, 2024, as I read this to you, which means, let's see, are we at the 45-day mark? 30 days, and then another 15 days. So I think we just hit it. I think so, which means a full-scale investigation into the presidential election that we just had weeks ago is now full-scale under investigation. Okay. It says 45 days after it can start. After the conclusion of an election, in consultation with the heads of any other appropriate executive departments and agencies, shall conduct an assessment of any information indicating that a foreign government or a person acting as an agent of or on behalf of a foreign government has acted with the intent or purpose of interfering in that election. The assessment shall identify to the maximum extent ascertainable, maximum extent ascertainable, the nature of any foreign interference and any methods employed to execute it, the persons involved, and the foreign government or governments that authorized, directed, sponsored, or supported it. The Director of National Intelligence shall deliver this assessment and appropriate supporting information to the President, the Secretary of State, the Secretary of the Treasury, Secretary of Defense, the Attorney General, and the Secretary of Homeland Security. B. We're Section 1B. Within 45 days of receiving the assessment and information described in Section 1A of this order, the Attorney General and the Secretary of Homeland Security, in consultation with the heads of any other appropriate agencies and as appropriate state and local officials, shall deliver to the President, the Secretary of State, the Secretary of the Treasury, and the Secretary of Defense a report evaluating with respect to the United States election that is the subject of the assessment described in Section 1A. Now we got a little Oh, it does the little I's in parentheses. Okay, so this is a little subsection of section 1B. It says the extent to which any foreign interference that targeted election infrastructure materially affected the security or integrity of that infrastructure, the tabulation of votes, ding, 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 or the timely transmission of election results. And number 2, so we got subsection 2 here of section 1B. Subsection 2. If any foreign interference involved activities targeting the infrastructure of or pertaining to a political organization, campaign, or candidate, the extent to which such activities materially affected the security or integrity of that infrastructure, including by unauthorized access to, disclosure or threatened disclosure of, or alteration or falsification of information or data. The report shall identify any material issues of fact with respect to these matters that the Attorney General and the Secretary of Homeland Security are unable to evaluate or reach agreement on at the time the report is submitted. The report shall also include updates and recommendations, when appropriate, regarding remedial actions to be taken by the United States government other than the sanctions described in sections 2 and 3 of this order. Now we're at section 1B, subsection 2. Okay, we're past that. Now we're in section 1, subsection C. Okay, past the B's, we're into the C's. It says, heads of all relevant agencies shall transmit to the Director of National Intelligence any information relevant to the execution of the Director's duties pursuant to this order, as appropriate and consistent with applicable law. If relevant information emerges after the submission of the report mandated by Section 1A of this order, the Director, in consultation with the heads of any other appropriate agencies, shall amend the report as appropriate, and the Attorney General and the Secretary of Homeland Security shall amend the report required by Section 1B as appropriate. Okay, let's do a little insert here. I am going to be doing a reading after I get through this. All right. So where are we at now? Yeah, well, it's worth the read. It's worth having it out here. So even if you got to watch this video in bits and pieces, please be advised that you should do so, just so you're fully aware and informed. Okay. Now we are at section 1. D. 1D. D is in doodle. Okay. Nothing in this order shall prevent the head of any agency or any other appropriate official from tendering to the President at any time through an appropriate channel an analysis, information, assessment, or evaluation of foreign interference in a United States election. Okay, subsection E. Make sure I got it. We're good. Okay. If information indicating that foreign interference in a state, tribal, or local election within the United States has occurred is identified, it may be included as appropriate in the assessment mandated by Section 1A of this order, or in the report mandated by Section 1B of this order, or submitted to the President in an independent report. Okay, now on to Section F. Not later than 30 days following the date of this order, the Secretary of State, the Secretary of Treasury, the Attorney General, the Secretary of Homeland Security, and the Director of National Intelligence shall develop a framework for the process that will be used to carry out their respective responsibilities pursuant to this order. The framework, which may be classified in whole or in part, shall focus on ensuring that agencies fulfill their responsibilities pursuant to this order in a manner that maintains methodology, consistency, protects law enforcement or other sensitive information, and the intelligence sources and methods, maintains an appropriate separation between intelligence functions and policy and legal judgments, ensures that efforts to protect electoral processes and institutions are insulated from political bias, and respects the principles of free speech and open debate. Okay. Also, after I get done reading this one, this is the one that is registered with the National Archive or the Federal Register. This is what went into the Federal Register. All right. And I will put the information in a banner and show it like I'm showing this one also for the. Okay. So to get that out. Okay. Now, Section 2A. All property and interests in property that are in the United States that hereafter come within the United States or that are hereafter come within the possession or control of any United States person of the following persons are blocked and may not be transferred, paid, exported, withdrawn, or otherwise dealt in any foreign person determined by the Secretary of Treasury in consultation with the Secretary of State, the Attorney General, and the Secretary of Homeland Security. Okay, so we must be building up to something here. Okay, so now Section 2A, Part 1. To have directly or indirectly engaged in, sponsored, concealed, or otherwise been complicit in foreign interference in a United States election. Section 2A, Part 2. It says to have materially assisted, sponsored, or provided financial, material, or technical support for or goods or services to or in support of any activity described in subsection A, Part 1 of this section, or any person whose property and interest in property are blocked pursuant to this order, or, okay, now we're at Part 3. Section 2A, Part 3, to be owned or controlled by or to have acted or perpetrated to act for or on behalf of directly or indirectly any person whose property or interest in property are blocked pursuant to this order. Section 2, Part B. Executive Order 13694 of April 1st, 2015. Three years earlier than this information was typed up. Okay, what's it say? Executive Order 13694 of April 1st, 2015, as amended by Executive Order 13757 of December 28, 2016, remains in effect. 757. Okay, I might have to look all that up. See, I'm just reading this first time for you and me. Okay, remains in effect. This order is not intended to and does not serve to limit the Secretary of the Treasury's discretion to exercise the authorities provided in Executive Order 13694. Where appropriate, the Secretary of the Treasury, in consultation with the Attorney General and the Secretary of State, may exercise the authorities described in Executive Order 13694 or other authorities in conjunction with the Secretary of the Treasury's exercise of authorities provided in this order. Okay. Now we're moving on. Okay, we're still in Section 2. Okay, Section 2C is where we're at. Okay. The prohibitions of the subsection A of this section applies except to the extent provided by statutes or in regulations, orders, directives, or licenses that may be issued pursuant to this order, notwithstanding any contract entered into or any license or permit granted prior to the date of this order. Section 3. Following the transmission of the assessment mandated by Section 1A and the report mandated by Section 1B, okay, then it's got parentheses A, the Secretary of the Treasury shall review the assessment mandated by Section 1A and the report mandated by Section 1B, and in consultation with the Secretary of State, the Attorney General, and the Secretary of Homeland Security, impose all appropriate sanctions pursuant to Section 2A of this order and any appropriate sanctions described in Section 2B of this order. And Section B, the Secretary of State and the Secretary of the Treasury, in consultation with the heads of other appropriate agencies, shall jointly prepare a recommendation for the President as to whether additional sanctions against foreign persons may be appropriate in response to the identified foreign interference and in light of the evaluation in the report mandated by Section 1B of this order, including, as appropriate and consistent with applicable law, proposed sanctions with respect to the largest business entities licensed or domiciled in a country whose government authorized, directed, sponsored, or supported election interference, including at least one entity from each of the following sectors: financial services, defense, energy, technology, and transportation. In parentheses, it says, or, if applicable, to the country's largest business entities, sectors of comparable strategic significance to that foreign government. Close quote. Close quote. Okay. The recommendation shall include an assessment of the effect of the recommended sanctions on the economic and national security interests of the United States and its allies. Any recommended sanctions shall be appropriately calibrated to the scope of the foreign interference identified and may include one or more of the following with respect to each targeted foreign person. Part 1. Blocking and prohibiting all transactions in a person's property and interest in property subject to United States jurisdiction. Part 2. Export license restrictions under any statute or regulation that requires the prior review and approval of the United States government as a condition for the export or re-export of goods or service. Part 3. Prohibitions on United States financial institutions making loans or providing credit to a person. Part 4. Restrictions on transactions in foreign exchange in which a person has any interest. Part 5. Prohibitions on transfers of credit or payments between financial institutions or by, through, or to any financial institution for the benefit of a person. Part 6. Prohibitions on United States persons investing in or purchasing equity or debt of a person. Part 7. Exclusion of a person's alien corporate officers from the United States. Part 8. Imposing on a person's alien principal executive officers of any of the sanctions described in this section, or Part 9, any other measures authorized by law. Now we're Section 4. Okay, we're more than halfway through. What we got here on time? Okay. Section 4. I hereby determine that the making of donations of the type of article specified in Section 203B2 of IEEPA 50 USC, that's United States Code 1702. I'm sorry, that's 1702B2 by, to, or for the benefit of any person whose property and interest in property are blocked pursuant to this order would seriously impair my abilities to deal with the national emergency declared in this order, and I hereby prohibit such donations as provided by Section 2 of this order. Wow. Section 5. The prohibitions in Section 2 of this order include the following. A. The making of any contribution or provision of funds, goods, or services by, to, or for the benefit of any person whose property and interest in property are blocked pursuant to this order, and B, Part B, the recipient of any contribution or provision of funds, goods, or services from any such person. Section C. I hereby find that the unrestricted immigrant and non-immigrant entry into the United States of aliens whose property and interest in property are blocked pursuant to this order would be determined to be interests of the United States, and I hereby suspend entry into the United States as immigrants or non-immigrants of such persons. Such persons shall be treated as persons covered by Section 1 of Proclamation 8693 of July 24th, 2011. Suspension of entry of aliens subject to the United States Security Council travel bans and International Emergency Economic Powers Act sanctions is what that is. Okay, Section 7. Any transaction that evades or avoids has the purpose of evading or avoiding, causes a violation of, or attempts to violate any of the prohibitions set forth in this order is prohibited. B. Any conspiracy formed to violate any of the prohibitions set forth in this order is prohibited. Section 8. For the purposes of this order, A. The term person means an individual or entity. B. The term entity means a partnership, association, trust, joint venture, corporation, group, subgroup, or other organization. C. The term United States person means any United States citizen, permanent resident, alien entity organized under the law of the United States or any jurisdiction within the United States, including foreign branches, or any person, including a foreign person, in the United States. D. The term election infrastructure means information and communications technology, and systems used by or on behalf of the federal government or a state or local government in managing the election process, including voter registration database, voting machines, voting tabulations, equipment, and equipment for the secure transmission of election results. There's the gotcha. Part E. The term United States election means any election for federal office held on or after the date of this order. So this is only applies to federal, to our presidential election, because everything else is state. Okay. F. The term foreign interference with respect to an election includes any covert, fraudulent, deceptive, or unlawful action or attempted actions of a foreign government or of any person acting as an agent of, on, or behalf of the foreign government undertaken with the purpose or, we're almost there, effect of influencing, undermining confidence in, or altering the results or reported results of the election, or undermining public confidence in election processes or institutions. The term foreign government, this is G, insert G. The term foreign government means any national, state, provincial, or other governing authority and political party, or any official of any governing authority or political party, in each case of a country other than the United States. H. The term covert with respect to an action or attempted action means characterized by an intent or apparent intent that the role of a foreign government will not be apparent or acknowledged publicly. And part 1 of this H. The term state means the several states of any of the territories, dependencies, or possessions of the United States. Section 9. For those persons whose property and interests in property are blocked pursuant to this order who might have a constitutional presence in the United States, I find that because of the ability to transfer funds or other assets instantaneously prior notice to such persons, a measure to be taken pursuant to this order would render those measures ineffectual. I therefore determined that for these measures to be effective in addressing the national emergency declared in this order, there need be no prior notice of a listing or determination made pursuant to Section 2 of this order. Section 10. Hold on. We're almost there. Section 10. Nothing in this order shall prohibit transactions for the conduct of the official business of the United States government by employees, grantees, or contractors thereof. Section 11. The Secretary of the Treasury, in consultation with the Attorney General and the Secretary of State, is hereby authorized to take such actions, including the promulgation of rules and regulations, and to employ all powers granted to the President by IEEPA as may be necessary to carry out the purposes of this order. The Secretary of the Treasury may redelegate any of these functions to other officers within the Department of the Treasury consistent with applicable law. All agencies of the United States government are hereby directed to take all appropriate measures within their authority to carry out the provisions of this order. Section 12. The Secretary of the Treasury, in consultation with the Attorney General and the Secretary of State, is hereby authorized to submit the recurring and final reports to the Congress on the national emergency declared in this order, consistent with Section 401C of the NEA, in parentheses, that's 50 United States Code 1641, subsection C, and Section 204C of IEEPA. That's the 50 United States Code 1703C. Now, Section 13, we're almost there. This order shall be implemented consistent with 50 U.S. Code, United States Code 1702B, 1 and 3. Section 14A, nothing in this order shall be construed to impair or otherwise affect. Part 1 of that says the authority is granted by law to an executive department or agency or the head thereof, or Part 2, the functions of the director of the Office of Management and Budget relating to the budgetary administration or legislative proposals. And then Section 14B, this order shall be implemented consistent with applicable law and subject to the availability of appropriations. That's money. C, this order is not intended to and does not create any right or benefit substantive or procedural, enforceable at law or in equity by any party against the United States, its departments, agencies, or entities, or its officers, employees, or agents, or any other person. And that's where he signs it. All right. The first time, September 12th, 2018. Yeah, well, this is just written up. That's why. Okay. So, Donald J. Trump, the White House. All right. And then, so why this is such a big deal? Okay, it's Joe Biden, POTUS, Joe Biden, number 46. On December 11th, 2024. So this was 5 days ago, because today's the 16th. Okay, I'm going to put this out, schedule it for the morning of the 17th. But, okay. And there's a little, there's a notice to Congress on December 11th, 2024. It says, notice to Congress on the continuation of the national emergency with respect to serious human rights abuse and corruption. Okay. This is just a little diddly here. On December 20th, 2017, by Executive Order 13818, the President declared a national emergency with respect to serious human rights abuse and corruption around the world, and pursuant to the International Emergencies Economic Powers Act, took related steps to deal with the unusual and extraordinary threat to the national security, foreign policy, and economy of the United States. The prevalence and severity of human rights abuse and corruption that have their source in whole or in substantial part outside the United States continue to pose an unusual and extraordinary threat to the national security, foreign policy, and economy of the United States. For this reason, the national emergency declared on December 20th, 2017, must continue in effect beyond December 20, 2024. Therefore, in accordance with Section 202D of the National Emergencies Act. I am continuing for 1 year the national emergency declared in Executive Order 13818 with respect to serious human rights abuse and corruption. This notice shall be published in the Federal Register and transmitted to the Congress. Signed by Joseph R. Biden Jr., the White House, December 11th, 2024. Wow. Okay. That was 40 minutes. My head's a little numb now. Okay, so here we've got, I'm going to take this down now, and then I am going to put, there we go, right there. Okay, this is the Federal Register. I'm going to write the information down for you. And this is volume 83, number 179, Friday, September 14th. And that is 2018 is where this Federal Register is. And in the upper right-hand corner is the number. It's 46843. Okay. So it's executive order. Do I have that Federal Register? 1/7/14. Executive order. Upper right corner is the number. Okay. 46843. Okay, but that's separate. Okay, for the executive order. Whoops, I forgot there. Order, 13848 of September 12th. 2018, right? Yeah. And what that says, the title of it says, imposing certain sanctions in the event of foreign interference in United States election. Ah, crap. Ran out of room, sorry. Okay, let me see. How do I trim this down? Okay. Okay. For the Executive Order 13484 of September 12th, imposing, I wrote that wrong. Okay, certain sanctions in the, I wonder if that's going to fit now, in the event of the United States. Okay. All right. I'm going to put this, I'm just going to leave it as it is right there. Add banner. Okay. The last word should be here, United States election. But it says Federal Register Volume 83. That's where the Federal Register one is. This isn't the one I read. It's got a lot more of the little technique. This is the technical portion of it. So, and so anyway, so that all that information is there on the screen if you so choose to get it for yourself and read it. So, this is beautiful. This is why there's been not a peep. This has got to be why there's not a peep. We've seen all the, well, I have. And I put it out here about the machines were hacked in the programming of, and the machines I'm talking about, these are the machines that are used after the hand counting verification, or before the hand counting verification, if it takes place, if there needs to be one. Because at the county level, you can sit there and stack them in groups of 10, 25 or whatever and count them that way. Or you just slide them through a counting machine, which is cool. And it's not hooked up to the internet. But you see, if you remember all the goings on of the last time this happened, the machines, do you remember all the problems with the machines? Someone took one of the machines. Well, and who's his new buddy? His co-president? One with Starlink and all the programming and software experience in the world. It don't need to be on the internet. And it's not on the internet, but those machines, the programming was messed with. And there was a programmer who his career is in programming. He wrote a letter to the president, the vice president, and the powers that be that the machines had been hacked at the county level. That's a lot of counties. So, but anyway. And Mr. 45, he has cooked his own goose. So, this is why so many do not see him being inaugurated. Yeah, there's a lot of them don't. So let's see. Yeah, put that right there. All right. I'm just going to lay out a Celtic cross. I'm going to use the Tarot Apprentice. And let's just take a look at this. All right. And I've got some Oracle cards afterwards. I'm going to use the Prism Oracle, the Dragon Riders Oracle, and what's this other one? Is Clarifying Life Situations is the other one. There you go. So, 48 minutes in. Jeez. I'm sorry about that. So, all I could say is hopefully you're watching this in pieces, and I'm going to have to timestamp this also. Okay, timestamp. All right, and what we got here on the time? Okay, I'm just going to put 49 minutes in. Okay, I put it 49 minutes in, and I'm going to do a spread, take a look at 45. What is going to be the end result? What is going to be the outcome of this executive order being extended for another year, how is that going to affect the Donald? Will it affect the Donald at all? I don't know. Will it affect the Donald? This executive order. Okay. Spirit, I ask you. This executive order 13843 imposing certain sanctions in the event of foreign interference in the United States election, in a United States election. How will this, what is this going to do to 45? The energy right now and the here and now, what's it going to do to him? If anything. What repercussions, if any, will it have on the Donald? On the 45, what repercussions, if any, will this have on 45? Okay. Sorry, I hope it wasn't too loud. Okay. Now, situation. This speaks to the current energy or the event around the Donald with this executive order that he created that's going to be extended. We have Wheel of Fortune. This is the karma card. What goes around comes around. And change, of course. Okay. And then the challenge here. This position speaks to the events or energy that is a hindrance or obstacle to the question. Okay. Hindrance or an obstacle. We've got the Ace of Swords. All right. So there is a big wig attorney, legal, you know. They got the legal egos all over it, you know, and they're going to do their best to block what comes down the line from operating as it should. But if you look at him, he's in a very relaxed pose, you know. There ain't nothing aggressive going on here. Real easy. Got his eye on it. Now the root or underlying, this speaks to the reason or the issues or subconscious thoughts. And we got King of Cups. That's Biden. He signed the extension of the executive order that the Donald wrote up and created. Now, the past, this position speaks to the events or energy of the past that may be repeating or still affecting the situation. Knight of Swords. Who does that look like? Who does that remind you of? Because the first thing that hit my mind, I believe that we saw characters on Gen 6 when the Donald was in the dining room off the Oval Office, you know, with glee, watching these cohorts beat up our police officers and security and crapping on the walls and the floors. Yeah. So that's in the past, but could be affecting it still a little bit, and I'm sure it is. Now we got thoughts, crowning energy. This speaks to what is currently on the mind and being thought about. For Donald? Okay, we got the Six of Cups. This is the card of nostalgia. Yeah, with the little kids daydreaming, remembering the good old days, the good old times. Yeah. And then in the future, this position speaks to what to expect next based on the current energy or happenings. We got the Four of Pentacles. So Four of Pentacles is very concerned about their security. Okay. You see him there looking at the books, looking at the numbers, his finances. He's got his family up there pictured behind him. Yeah. Now we look at his feelings. This speaks to what is being felt about the situation or events around it. This can reveal how someone feels even if they don't say it. What do we got? Ooh. Eight of Wands. Eight of Wands is usually about hurried energy, quick energy. Could be communication, travel. But absolutely, it's looking beyond where they're currently standing for sure. Interesting, isn't it? Because this to me reminds you of somebody who's, he'll tell you how bigly genius he is. Maybe he's genius enough to use that third eye of his. I'm sure he knows about it. Yeah. So maybe he's employed that. And then we've got the environment. This position speaks to what is going on around Donald Trump. Two of Swords. These are hard decisions with the Two of Swords. He's looking at studying whatever information they glean that they need to hone in on to get themselves in a more conducive energy. Okay, now this next card here, it's in the position of hopes and fears, but I like the Tarot Apprentice mindset that this is just insight, and it really is. This is insight on the spread, and we've got Chariot. The man's standing by. He's just waiting. You see that? I mean, I've seen it. Susan Lynn's seen it. Lots of them have seen it where he's got a ride standing by. He's got a plan. He's got a plan. Okay. Because how many innocents do you know that need to bolt? Outcome. This position speaks to the conclusion of the issue. Wow. We got Five of Wands. See, he's got a hold of his head. Somebody's got a hold of his head. Pinning him down. Not a good spot to be in. Oh, and the okay, 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 okay. See what I just seen here? All right. So we've got the chariot, right? Ride standing by. Okay. Then we've got he's getting grabbed, right? Shadow card. Knight of Pentacles. Everything's packed up. Back of the van's open. Okay. All the players are in place. All the positions. Yeah. He's got the Ten of Pentacles directly behind the Knight of Pentacles. And directly behind that is the Tower. And then the Queen of Cups. And then the Death card. The Page of Wands. Yeah. And the Magician. Yeah. Okay. So yeah, I don't think he's going to be inauguration day is not looking like it's going to go off. That's what I'm feeling, you know. Yeah, I mean, yeah. Okay. Well, let's pull some oracles now. Okay. And where's my little card here? 1 hour in. All right. Well, that wasn't too bad. So I'll timestamp these two for you. So I know this has been a big one. I don't usually do them this doggone long, and I certainly don't normally do that kind of reading in it. But this is important. You know, this is really important. And I know some of you don't believe it, but he never, 45 never wanted to be. I mean, people would say things to him over the years, and I'm talking going back to Johnny Carson. Okay, for those of you that old enough to remember, and you know, Johnny Carson egging him on. Yeah, you gonna run for president? Yeah. That's about the same time too that he told him, if I ever did, it'll be as a Republican, because they're just not very smart. He said that. I didn't say that. But Donald said that as a much younger man, because his entire life until he ran for the presidency, he was a Democrat. I mean, that says a lot to me about somebody, you know. Believe them when they tell you who they are. Really. Okay, I'm going to pull, should I do the Prism first? Okay, I'm going to save the Prism to last. I'm going to pull one oracle from the Dragon Rider's Oracle, because these are just too friggin' cool. I love these. Okay. I'm going to pull one of these. For the collective, please, Spirit. Going forward, dealing with all this, all these trials, tribulations, all these lessons, all the lessons that we need to learn. Some guidance, please. Thank you. Okay. All right, got it. Oh. we have, what time is it? I should have wrote down the time. 104. I'll put this down at 103, the first oracle. There you go. Dragons. Okay. This is Rose Myrta in abundance. There you go. Rose Myrta in abundance. It says abundance and wealth are now flowing toward you. Prepare to be receptive at every level in order to receive all that awaits you. All right. And abundance doesn't just come in a form of money. And the shadow card here, because I'm big on shadow cards now, making sure I get them in. Shadow card here for this oracle is the sun god and Esra. The sun god and Esra. Right? The shadow message here: free yourself from lies and deception and live your truth. Shine in your own light. Other people's truths are of no use to you. That's pretty good. That's powerful. Powerful. We all have to follow our own light, our own inner guidance. Every one of us. Okay, now this one here is clarifying life situation. And then I'll do the prism afterwards, because y'all hung in with me, hopefully, through this reading. I really appreciate you doing that too, because it is important. And it should be here going forward, because there'll be a time maybe where you want to take another look at this, right? Okay, guidance for the collective, please, Spirit. In the coming weeks ahead. The coming weeks ahead, guidance for the collective. Please and thank you. Okay. This one. All right. I see it. I got it. Really? Vacation. No kidding. It says vacation on there. A pause. Okay, let's see. I should be able to read this without my little... A pause in routine can unveil paths to prosperity and hidden pitfalls. Watch the signs. Pause, proceed. I like that. Pause, perceive, proceed. You see that? That's what it says. I hope you can see that. It's coming in. That was very good. And the shadow card is Siren Song. Beware the alluring tunes that promise more than they deliver. Listen wisely. Oh, honey, you have no idea. You have no idea. Well, some of you do. Yeah. Okay. That's the beautiful. Okay. And that was, I forgot to write that one down too. So I'll just find the times. All right. Now to ending this video. And I'm sorry it's long, but it had to be. Prism Oracles. I'm going to do 3. We're going to look at the outgoing energy, the current energy, and the incoming energy. All right? Spirit, for the collective, please. Outgoing energy, current energy, and incoming energy. Please and thank you for the guidance with much gratitude. Okay, you want that one? All right. Okay, flipping that one. All right. One more. What? Outgoing, current, and incoming. Outgoing, current, and incoming. This one. All right. All right. Ooh, the shadow one is confidence, so I like that. All right. Now, okay. Outgoing energy is sweetness. All right. Sweetness is headed out the door. Current energy, cleanse. We did just have the full moon. Yeah. Cleanse. Yesterday. That's all that's about. This current energy is cleansing. Incoming. Oh. Okay. Anger. Yeah. It says anger. Okay. I'm going to read out of the book when it does this, because sometimes I don't pick up, it's like, oh, really? And then there's a real insightful message with it. So I'm going to read. Yeah, I'm sorry, but I'm going to read the message out of the book. Okay. So, and I have to look at these through the colors. They don't have an index. I think it should be. Here we go. Now the sweetness, which is on the way out. Okay, this says, this card is a signal to savor the sweet moments in life and to remember them. When things get rough, the small things in life are often the sweetest, but they easily go unnoticed. Sweetness is always there if you look for it. All right. Okay, now cleanse. Our current energy is cleanse. So let's see. Cleanse. Here we go. Cleansing is a beautiful way to show love and appreciation for yourself, your belongings, and your space. It's wiping away the dust and grime to reveal the shine underneath, bringing a sense of calm, ease, and clarity. When this card comes up, ask yourself what could use a little extra cleaning. How can you give yourself or your space a little extra love? All right. And now for the anger. Yeah, it's got to be back here. Red, okay. Here it is. This card represents an acknowledgement that anger is a natural part of life. Okay, this is the incoming energy. It's okay to feel angry, but what can you do with the immense amount of energy that comes with it? How can you transform anger into something helpful for yourself and others? Okay, so they're reminding me about the reading that I just did yesterday with the dragon oracles. And it said the same thing, what's coming, what we're going to be learning, our lesson. What we have to work on is transformation, transforming, something like that. I have to go look again. I can't remember what the last card was, but it was in yesterday's. You should look at yesterday's video if you haven't already. Yeah. the one just before this that I did. It was a 15 card layout, and I used the Dragon Riders Oracle for it. And it's very good. And it goes right along with what this one is saying. Now let's look at confidence, the shadow. Because we got all the others we're reading, we're going to do the shadow one. Shadow, shadow, shadow. I gotta find the right color. Consciousness. Here we go. Coming into it. Confidence. Confidence is not a fixed attribute. All right. It's something that we're continuously working to build throughout our lives. In a reading, this card signifies that it's the right time to start working with and enhancing your sense of self-confidence. How can you build more confidence in your life in a meaningful way? That's very good. It's absolutely on point. For me personally, if you haven't heard, see, I've been a healer all my life. I've also got an id inside of me that says, who do you think you are? I mean, seriously. They'll lock you up for saying stuff like that. They got them insane asylums, and they will just throw your butt in there, you know. But that's a little voice that I have had all my life. But now that I'm 70, I've decided I'm going to kick id's ass, all right? And share with all of you that I am a healer. And got some people I'm working with, and I'm helping. So, what will you do to help yourself? What will you do to kick your own id's ass? And the id is the ego, all right? And the ego, well, you got to have a tight rein on that ego, you know? The ego has its uses. It has its uses. But we must not let it control any of your soul, none, and your spirit. Don't let that happen. So, okay, I have talked way longer than I should have probably. Anyway, if you're still here, thank you so much. I really appreciate your support, your love. I really do. So thank you so very much. And I'm sending you agape love. All right. Remember to love yourself, love the others, and be the light. And do your meditating. Do something to disengage the head, you know. Find something you can get lost in. I don't care if it's coloring, going for a walk, sing, you know. Turn the radio on and start dancing. Just lift your spirit. You're going to need that in the coming months. Doesn't matter what party you're affiliated with. Doesn't matter at all. And so take care of yourself. You know, love yourself. Love the others. Be the light, because you are the light. Each one of us is a light being of the Creator. And let's embrace that. Let's evolve. Let's help mankind moving forward. All right. I love y'all. Take real good care of yourself. And I'll see you in the next video. Bye for now.